Sagittarius, what's up? Listen, your message so far, I really like your message so far. I think yours is the one that I think I smiled first at so far. Because it's a really good read message as I'm getting into your oracle cards. You have the shifted self as one of your first oracle cards. You may actually live near a body of water. Okay, you might live near the ocean. Okay, it's either the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean where you live near. Okay, there is a beach that somebody goes to, spends a lot of time. Okay, bucket hats. You may wear bucket hats a lot. Okay, because you are an individual that likes the water, or just you wear them. Okay, no, a lot. You might live somewhere warm, or you just like the style of the hat. Okay. If not, you might just be somebody that likes to wear hats in general. We have shifted perspective, altered state, detached observation, unique viewpoint, new understanding, temporary change, cooler perception. When your state shifts, the world shifts with it. Observe the new landscape revealed through this altered lens. Sag, there's something with your read for the energy check for this month where your perspective has changed a lot over time, but as your perspective is changing, you're maturing. Somebody is maturing. And the more that you're maturing and getting into this mature energy, it's like you're becoming more happier, okay? My intuition is very heavy on somebody just had a dark night of the soul, okay? And you're somewhere between like the purging point where, or just getting out of the purging point. So purging is it could be symptoms that you possibly went through, or maybe you're just getting out of. And there may have been arguments that were going on. There may have been a point of sadness that happened, but in the same way, it's like it's symptoms though. You may have been wondering what these symptoms was, okay, if I could talk. But the symptoms are connected to something here that's very spiritual, okay? You are somebody that went through a dark night of the soul in the past many times, okay? You might be somebody that is spiritual in some way, but with the dark night of the soul, this is not like any other dark night of the soul. The last dark night of the soul that you possibly went through was an eye-opening experience of who you are. You are, Sag. Specifically, not anybody else. This is all tied to who you are. You gaining your identity in some way, but it's an identity that goes, it's way more than what you see, what somebody would actually see at face value. Okay, it's something that's spiritual. So you are having some type of level up spiritually, more in your consciousness. Okay, you're going through a period where your symptoms are up and down, but once you get over this, maybe you're already out of this, you'll be able to determine this. But I feel like once you shed off like the last layer of the skin for the dark night of the soul in this purging session, you're going to be very blissful and happy. And you may already be feeling this way. Okay? It's a funny story how I got these cards. It's actually a Mexican bingo game, but I'm using them for some of my tarot readings right now. So for your card, you got El Bendolan. Is that how you say it? Bendolan? I was trying to practice it. I don't know if I said it right, but somebody here could play instruments or you are a musician in some way. Okay, the number 1717 could be significant. You could be seeing a lot of synchronicities at this time, a lot of patterns like with numbers and stuff. You might be having a lot of vivid dreams. Something with the dreams could be significant. Somebody could be some type of dream walker in some way. But when you have dreams right now, Sag, it's you remembering your past self. Okay? The life that you had before you became reincarnated in some way. You're remembering who you are. So, for example, if you didn't know what you wanted to do with your life or why you're here, you're starting to remember why you're here. You're starting to remember what you were in your past life, so far as career, what you did, who you were, where did you live. There's something where you're finding out who you truly were in some type of past life, okay, before you came into this reincarnation. You might have Mayan ancestry. If not, it could be, I'm seeing it could definitely be something that's it's very ancient, okay? Some type of bloodline that you're tied to. Okay? Dolphins could be significant. I feel like you just seen a dolphin, or somebody just saw a dolphin, or maybe rode one. You might love dolphins. Your energy is dolphin-like though. You have a spirit of a dolphin. Very playful, very childlike. When you get into this energy, it's like your inner child comes out. Okay? People love that about you. Okay? I'm talking to a Sag that is, you're very well liked when you're in some type of great energy. And right now you're in this very playful, great energy, okay? Where it's like you're going out more, but you're solo though. You're solo. As to before, when you thought you needed a whole bunch of people in an image to keep up, to uphold in front of others, no matter who it was, partner, family, friends, you're stepping away from some type of material life, and it's becoming way deeper for you. Going on walks. As you're walking, you're like, I don't know, a lot of people are noticing you smiling. Somebody smiles a lot. You have a very beautiful smile, and you're walking down the street, and I feel like you're leaving your cell phone at home. Somebody's leaving their cell phone at home, and it's like you're enjoying your life, where it's like solo dolo type shit. All right, fluorite could be a great crystal for you for this month, okay? I do recommend it because it does stimulate the free spirit, okay? Because this is a free spirit energy. It does help with you and your free spirit when you do work with fluorite, or you wear it in some way. I do recommend getting some type of fluorite because it will help activate that free spirit of yours, okay? And it does help to, like, if you're having some type of shift in your life where you're starting to get to know yourself, it can help shape your life in some way with having some type of crystal around you with the fluorite. And it does make us more aware of outside forces that try to control us. So if you ever felt like you were controlled in some way, it forces. I am talking to a Sag that is tapped in some way, that does know that there is external forces that does like to get in the way of your life. Having a fluorite around can definitely help with outside forces that you can't see all the time, that likes to control us in some way. It also can help with unjustified energy. Like if somebody's doing something that is unjustified, no matter who it is, or an energy, it can help it, okay? The 18th century could also be significant. I feel like in your past life, you may have been in the 18th century somehow. Because the fluorite, they found this back in the 18th century. This was a crystal that was around during that time frame. So something with the 18th century could be significant here, Sag, for your rate. Somebody likes the history of the 18th century, okay? You could be, somebody is a scholar. I had to restart the shadow message because it cut off. I don't know why this phone always playing with me. You could be having cell phone issues, okay? I don't know. Mercury retrograde, I feel like it might be really fucking with somebody, but I feel like that's where you end up just tossing your phone and just leaving the house without a Sag. Anyways, deceit. Honesty is the bridge to authentic connections. There may have been times in the past, Sag, now we're stepping into your shadow message. So a lot of times with the shadow message, this could be something that we are oblivious to. We end up projecting what these shadows are. We're in denial, okay? This could be your shadow. It could not. It's not going to resonate with all Sages. Okay, you will be the one that may determine what the shadow is. But somebody's shadow is deceit. Okay, you may have deceived a lot of people in the past. Okay, lies, deception, fraud. A lot of people may have thought that you were very fraudulent in some way. Mask. Okay, there's something with a mask, putting up a facade, not truly being who you truly are as a person. Came off really deceitful. Okay? But as long as you are aware of that, and I feel like Sag, because there's a Sag here that's truly working on themselves. You do know in some way that you have been deceitful, but also I do see here that people have came off deceitful towards you. As long as you are aware of what your shadow is and you're choosing to work on yourself and put down the ego and change your life, that's the first step when it comes to your shadow, is recognizing. Okay? Recognizing where the issue is. Okay? Another shadow is depression. Okay? You may be somebody here that struggles with depression on and off. I don't see it last for a long... I don't think it lasts for a long time. Okay? Whoever you are. It could just be like a few minutes, but a few minutes always counts for somebody here. Where people may put you in this depression, but I feel like there is a Sag here that may have done it to themselves due to being deceitful. Okay? This too shall pass. Every storm brings a rainbow. Okay? You may have just saw a rainbow. Or maybe you love rainbows. You like to sky gaze, whoever you are. Okay? Sag, with these type of shadows, I feel like a lot of us do deal with similar shadows, but this is something here that it's very specific here to somebody, where it's like you had to pull yourself out of some type of energy like many times, because people always come back to you and remind you of what you did or what they did to you, and it ended up hurting your heart in some way where you ended up being depressed. A lot of people like to remind the Sag what they did, okay? Nobody's perfect here. We all have shadows, okay? And the first thing that you can do, Sag, when it comes to the shadow is journal out why you have been deceptive, or when it comes to other people, why did they do this to me? Okay? Start with some journaling when it comes to your shadow. And also with the awakening, you can start doing positive affirmations. Somebody is going to start with positive affirmations, though, like with remembering who you are. A good one to start is, I am starting to remember who I am. That's a good affirmation that you could do every day in the mirror. Every day when you wake up. Okay? That's it for your shadow message. Sag, your first tarot card is the Sun. Then you have the Nine of Wands. And then you have the Queen of Cups. With the Sun and the Nine of Wands, I feel like your energy is very beautiful right here. It's very beautiful. I can't even lie. Like, there's a Sag. You might have Cancer placements in some way, because as I'm going down this tarot read, there's a lot more. There's a lot of water. I feel like you and somebody have a lot of water placements. Also fire. But with the Sun and the Knight of Wands, I feel like as you're stepping into this beautiful energy, Sag, and you're celebrating, but it's like a celebration of life, and you like tapping into source. Okay, you're tapping into source, and you're starting with you getting to know who you are. And I feel like you're going to be tested by a lot of external forces as you're starting to get to know yourself, okay? And tap into this energy. And it's like you're going to be tested by your faith as you are walking some type of journey, okay? You're going to be walking a certain journey where it's very spiritual, very beautiful, very abundant. There's going to be external forces that are going to test you with the Nine of Wands, because that could be when people are trying to test your faith. That's when a lot of faith is being tested, but it's like you're standing firm, like this guy in this picture. You've been bruised up, you've been beaten up enough, but you're still fucking standing. You're still standing, Sag. And it's like you're having a lot of strength to continuing some type of journey. No matter how many times people try to get in your way, you're still standing, Sag. You're not going to let anybody try to beat you down. Okay? Test your faith. Because I see here there's a Sag that's been tested many times. Okay? Somebody may have been doing chaos magic as well. Okay? I see there's some type of chaotic energy outside of you and some type of connection that you once had with somebody with the Queen of Cups. All right? This is an individual that is very loving, very caring, but they became very withdrawn with you because there was a tower here, okay? And then we had the Seven of Pentacles that ended up being here. There was a lot of chaotic energy around you, even at work, even at home. There was some type of lingering energy here, okay? Very chaotic. But I don't see that it was you or somebody here. It was external forces that's meant to, okay, it's kind of like giving me the Matrix here, okay? Like, I did a message like this before, Sag, in the past, and it's connecting in some way. I've had a message like this before where Sag was connected to somebody before in the past, and it was like two people running away from external forces here. It's giving a soulmate bond, but outside external forces that are trying to pull you away from somebody because they know it's a connection that is meant to be high level. With the Hangman, there was many delays getting this shit off the ground. There was a vision that was once here, okay, that was lost. But it's like, once you figure this out and actually you're going to come to terms with something here, what actually happened here, and you're going to have the courage to go towards somebody with the Knight of Wands here. And then you have the Ace of Cups. That's new love. Okay, whether that's you or somebody here, you're going to provide possibly a love offer towards somebody because you're going to realize that there was possibly external forces that was in the way of some type of connection that you once had with somebody. And this definitely altered you to step into some type of energy where you're starting to know yourself, trying to get to know who you were before in your past life. Okay, something had to be... There's an individual that had to try to get to know who they were before for them to step into an energy so that way you can be with the person that you want to be with, because there are external forces that are at play that's been trying to rip you and this person apart for a very long time. And I feel like the reason why there was some type of reincarnation here was because you're meant to actually be with this person. You're meant to be with this person. Okay? So you had to go through some type of rebirth here. Some type of an awakening to step you into some type of energy to go towards somebody, whether that's you or somebody else. But I see here, it's external forces that was in the way. All right, Sag, peace out.